The movie begins with Abu Aaron, who will be an officer in the Indian Army and not in any squad. My friend is in the Yoda squad. This squad has wiped out from all the army forces on strike, with all the weapons and the most difficult situations that any army can go through in the world. They are asked for impossible missions, and no matter how difficult the mission is, this squad is afraid to finish it successfully, and the commander of this squad is Abu Aaron, who was originally the one who started this squad. He finds his son wearing his suit and tells him, "You're like honey, call me because you put on this suit and go out with it. You must still be wearing it." One day, he goes out against terrorism. There are good strikers, the number of whom is very large. They kill most of his men, and he kills him personally. They return his body to his house and see how many people are after. The shock. They hold a military funeral for him, and Aaron makes a promise and pledge to himself. One day he will be an officer in the Indian Army, and he will take his father's leave, not from a specific terrorist, from all the terrorism in the country. Years will pass and days will pass, and the Yoda squad will be in the jungle, attacking him to terrorize civilian kidnappers. The head of the group tells his men to carry out the Indian Army outside, and he says to him, "President Dahl, a little bit welcome. Tell him," he says to him, "this is not the squad outside. These are the Yoda squad. They did not go out on a mission unless they completed it successfully." They say, "Okay, we are working. So, boss, put down the weapon that happened." This civilian goes down to get the weapon because the old man took a bullet in his brain and his breath will be on the ground. Out of snipers, who is the Mahai boy, the hero of the years? Karen, son of teachers. Men tell him to wait. A village. There are civilians inside. It will not be useful for us to strike. We must talk to terrorism and join forces with them. They say, "Unfortunately, we have not learned to talk to enemies." They say, "What is it?" "We hit them. We will destroy innocent people." He says to him, "No one will be harmed." He tells him, "How can they be terrorists? They're walking." "Where are you going?" "The one coming at you." He raises the sniper. He hits the electric box. He takes a run on the electric wire. No, my friend has a house he's stuck in. He's afraid in the middle of the next one. I'll help him. Oh, this is my friend. She's a janitor. He's a hard worker. I haven't seen action moves like this since. In the past, they feared for him with knives. They did not know that the one in front of them was a monster dressed in peaches, oh my life, and figs. I would come back except Hamada. He would fear for him with a weapon. He would take a power, and a cover for what would happen to them. He would use his weapon and come out on them. This son of the old man would take a spear on the fly, go out with it, and knock on it. Come back, son of Al-Abida. Two of them kidnap this child and run away with it. He goes running after her and tries to hit them with a weapon, but he is afraid for the child who is with them. He disappears from around them, but comes out of the water and takes the first one of them to go to the fish below, and the second one is very frightened, so he prefers to have the weapon in the water, looking out and finding it sitting next to it. The child says to him, "Come on, you are a subscriber to the Coakley channel." He says, "No," I knock him down with one of the water bottles he brings. Accomplishes the task successfully and returns to the battalion with his head held high after being gone. He returns with awe to consult his wife. The useful girl leaves him and takes the stroller and walks away. He says to her, "I miss you, my heart." She tells him, "You will never stop what you are doing." He says, "What did you do to her?" She says to him, but she knows, "Talk to me and leave him," and she walks away. He says to her, "Okay, just tell me what happened." She tells him the same thing that happens every time she doesn't find a solution to the task. So she loves like a man other than God. He says, "No, my colleague was all with me." He says, "You knew where to tell him the books from." He doesn't have two men to tell her. What is it? Beautiful woman? he who wins the heart of a beast like you will be able to fear any war and win it. Yes, that's how shake, laugh, and show me the two winks. They go together with medicine in her hand. Second day in the morning, he goes to work. And at night, this employee goes to Priya and tells her, it's a disaster, you regret, terrorism has been kidnapped. A plane and a verb. I am my friend. The plane is landing in Amritsar, Beria. It goes to its captain. He tells them that those who hijacked the plane are 5 or 4 terrorists. Whether the plane occupied his mind, he landed at Amritsar airport. He told them that the plane does not have gasoline. She tells him, okay, this plane has how many passengers? He tells her, 176 and 12 of the work kit, but most important of all, O scholar of the Nawa, and our own Anajne, this is the one holding Alanawawi in. Though then, if anything happens to him, it will be a disaster. He says to him, okay, and they know him. He tells her, I don't know. But he is sure that he has his own guard who will take their care of him. Henda tells him, no. What guards? Regret? The commander of the Yoda squad is with him. He is shocked, and Karan is in the plane's bathroom. He sees any exchange. He sends them a signal so they can send his men to him. Terrorist knocks on him. What does he say to him? Hamada, what are you doing? All of this tells him, it'll be here. I mean, I was doing like the people. He says to him, okay, let's go outside. He goes out and sits next to Anuj, and he says to him, don't worry, our security knew that the plane was hijacked. They are waiting for a signal from me so that they can send me my men. She goes to the commander and says to him, don't worry, sorry. The commander of the Yoda Aaron squad is with our nuclear scientist and he will get out of there safely. Give me an order. Send his men to him and they will finish this mission. He tells her to attack whoever this is, a nuclear scientist. If he gets any scratch, we will all go home. She tells him, don't worry, sorry. I'm sure that Aaron will get out of there. Hope is the right one. He tells them that terrorism is with us on the line. Rhea goes to talk to him and tells him. He says, your requests. He says to her, I want 2 gasoline trucks. He says to him, okay, what is this? Let's take him and Wendy. He says to her, you take it and I will give it to you. First thing I have is that he wants a gasoline vehicle to fill the plane's tin. The second thing is get our leader out. Third thing is 5 million springs. She tells him, I am ready for your requests, his strength, and until we carry it out, we will take a moment. I hope that before we put gasoline in the plane, at least a quarter of the passengers will take it off. He will lock it with it, and Karan will swallow this matchstick and throw it into the hole next to him to send a signal to them that he is ready, and they will send the men to him. His wife goes to the mission commander, and he tells him that they do not know terrorism, something about our world. The commander says to her, okay, I didn't send you any message. She says that Masad still tells him, oh, regrets. Yoda squad is all ready and they can finish this mission without harming anyone. He tells them, this is a big responsibility. We will not attack it. We will go back and forth with them. Let us solve the problem without harming anyone. Harao knows that the smoke came out outside and they saw his signal. He says to my father, sorry, bring water because everyone here is thirsty. He says to him, I am working for you. Come on, leave your place. He says, okay, I will go. He says, go back to your place. Come on. Doesn't tell him, I am thirsty too. It will be okay. They beat him, but Aaron bangs his hand. He brings him to the ground. They take him, but Piria calls him and tells him, listen, give me anyone from you who can check on the people you have. You are not ready? You have killed them all. He brings Aaron to her. He tells him to tell her that everyone on the plane is alive. Tells her yes. Oh. Aaron's woman says to him, Aaron, you're good. He says to her, you're good, but it's not time for danger to grow around us. This time, the kids of old age are grabbing the passports of the passengers, and they arrive at Anno's place before they take his passport. Karm goes running to them and tells them to leave him alone. This is my father, a big man, and he has the heart keeps away, and this old son takes the passport from the world. He says the truth, Commander. This is their world of lights, and the smoke comes out from underneath. They keep people away, and Priya goes to her leader and tells him there is no time. We must send him his band. As soon as he removes this carpet, he finds a door underneath it. Mission Commander tells them, no, we will not send a squad and fight with them in a clash. Maybe Anna will take a shot and die. She says to him, oh, regret, what is it about us? If we are late, he will die. It's not just him, and everyone on the plane tells her that there is no difference. She will go. Don't have this responsibility. He leaves it and walks away. As for Aaron, he opens this door and the first one of the passengers gets out. Terrorism is on their mind, but Aaron does not leave their situation. He fools around stupidly. But the son of the pyramid hits them with a bullet. He is slipped on the ground near him and brings out an extinguisher. He goes down to the children of the pyramid, and they get out, and their commander sees him go to the pilot and he tells him to move. Quickly tells him that there is no gasoline. He tells him to get out and I will finish it. He tells him, okay, I will get out. He actually starts the plane, and Q-Rim is in control of them without a weapon, even if just one of his men. And my friend will finish the mission, and in his books, ground security says to him, Commander, the men have sent him the plane, it's moving, they say. No, the children of Al-Harama are getting angry about Aaron, and Hamaksha alone accidentally hits him with one hit. He brings his own. Everyone is in utmost shock, and Aaron, despite the 2 bullets he took in his body, stands up again. On his feet, he takes it and runs after it, but the plane flies in front of his eyes and in front of the eyes of the men who were ready, but none of them. Commanders took control of the matter and sent them to him. Days passed and the people of the pyramid were sending a body. Announcer said, we don't know whose fault it is. Who is the government that was giving orders to the Yoda security squad or the Yoda squad that did not know how to save the plane? Aaron takes his men and goes to court. The judge says, Aaron Bakram Shakram Khan, you were protected by Anuj Binaj. Maknaj betrayed our Indian nuclear scientist and died because of his recklessness. He fell in love with the plane and entered into a clash with the enemy without taking any signal from the judge. He says that the smoke was a signal to the judge to send me my team. When I entered into a clash with them, they knew Anand's identity. I had to fear for them in order to save him and him. The rest of the passengers and my team came 1 minute before the plane took off, but it was not all that happened. It was a long time ago that the world was still alive. Don't say that, my love. What is written is written. The important thing is that the judge says, Priya, Your Honor, I spoke to the accused, Aaron, and told him not to do anything and wait for orders. You are saying exactly that. He regrets it. But he tells her to sit down. Professor Samir Khan from the Yoda band kindly tells him to command me. Regret. He says the last mission, which was on the border, Haran acted out of his mind and entered the enemies alone. They say exactly, regret, but he tells him to please sit down. The plane's mission failed, and our nuclear scientist died because with us is Officer Aaron, who likes to play the role of the hero alone. He tells him, I am making a meal, nothing more. Regret. He tells him, your duty is to listen to orders and carry out what we have to do until we reach a ruling on this case. All of you are staying away from work. We will see and click whether we will need this Yoda team at all later or not. Aaron will come out. Outside, he is very angry. Kyria tells him that's it. Don't be upset. Tells her, you didn't hear the referee. She tells him, I heard, but believe me, I had to tell the truth. I didn't have anything to say to her, but on the day of the mission, you were able to send me my team. She tells him it's my job to negotiate with him. Terrorism, I had to negotiate with them. He tells her that you know that the Yoda team does not have an understanding. She tells him that every one of us was doing his job. He tells her exactly what it is because of your stupid work. The Yoda team, which my father did himself, will fall and leave him alone, living the worst days of his life, and one day he will be sitting in front of me. Television is the leader of the important thing, the son of Al-Harama, saying, what a loss. We lost the world of Alanawa and our man Anash, all of this because of a group. All of the other groups are crazy. The country is spending on them in vain because they are supposed to be stupid like these countries. They do not care about our people. They do not listen to anyone's words and about anything. Heresy. They are walking away. I am of the opinion of this group. If you cancel, it will be much better. Haroun gets more and more angry. The days pass, and every day judgments are postponed after judgments. And the first one of his men says to him, I'm sorry, Chief. I will be transferred from your squad. Haroun goes to people who were kind to him to help him in the calamity he is in. They do not even care about the son of a pyramid, the commander of the mission, who does not agree. He sends his team to him. He doesn't want to talk to him. Goes home and thinks about solving it differently. Goes to meet a certain person. Samir Khan tells him, I'm sorry, I'm leaving the team. Seems that this problem will develop while I'm sitting there without anything. He says to him, I will do the impossible to get back to work. He says he keeps dreaming about the government and putting this team in their minds. Priya fears for him. She tells him, this is my divorce paper. I hope you can spend it. No, his friend says to them, what is the matter with you guys? Don't let work affect your personal life. Tells him that there are people like that who don't have the distinction between work and home. Hareen tells her, okay, let's tar. Then you tell him, I won't live with someone who will be good when his team comes back again, and of course, your team won't come back, and you know that no one will help you bring him back. He gets even more angry, so he holds the pen and holds out the divorce paper in her hand. Shit. In utmost shock. Why, in the first place? And she takes it and walks, and Karun brings another one, and he goes to get what he needs from home, and he goes in another direction entirely, and the months pass, and the days pass, and the media says, finally, the Pakistani Prime Minister and the Prime Minister of India will accept, and the dream of peace will finally come true. He will accept and it will pass. God bless the peace treaty. After the peace treaty is completed, the Pakistani Prime Minister will go to pray in the Omar bin Al-Khattab Mosque. But honestly, the terrorist group is here. Their president says there is a peace treaty, peace treaty between India and Pakistan. This is impossible to. One of his men tells him, we need men from India, chief, to help us with this mission. He tells him, don't worry, I won't bring any man. I will bring with me one of their fiercest soldiers. He will finish this mission with us. Harun arrives at the airport. He shouts at the inspection device. He is cleared. Has a weapon at his side and looks at the police. Why would he pass by him? I mean, he will pass his brother Mukhtar Kukli. For example, oh my friend, I have begun to read the Indian books. Focus, my friend, because what happened was Hamdi and the one who. My grandfather is coming and the important thing is that he is passing and this person is walking and knocking on it and looks at him and finds that he has disappeared from his side. He looks at the ground and finds this ticket. He goes to the employee and tells him that this ticket fell from the employee. He holds the iron and says, guys, I hope Professor Aaron Al-Mahoun comes and takes the I fell for him. Aaron is surprised. Goes and tells him, I am Aaron. He says to him, okay, take it, regret. He tells him, this ticket is not mine. And all, this is not the place I'm going. He says to him, no, it is not in your name, regret. He is shocked and receives a message on the phone that says, get it done, don't waste any time. He knows something wrong will happen on this plane, and since his heart is beating and he goes to kneel, he keeps looking right and left, and everything is normal on the plane, and before the plane moves he receives a message written in which the plane is lit and the glasses are beautiful. He looks around and finds no one holding the phone other than the girl next to him. He walks. The flight attendant says to him, "Excuse me, sorry." Goes to her. He tells her, "I am the officer. The secret on the plane." She is shocked and the plane looks for my friend. She brings him a list of the names of everyone on the plane. Everything is very normal. He tells her, "Okay, is there anyone who got on in the last moments?" She tells him no. The last thing is for the people in training to get on the plane, including the girl next to you. She is still traveling to London, completing the rest of her training. Here he tells her what her name is. Tells him a second. He tells her the second or third. She tells him, "I swear I don't know his manhood." He tells her, "Okay, I want to grab her phone." She tells him, "This is her year." How can he tell her to behave? She tells him, "Of course, it won't work, regret." He says to her, "I'm telling you I want to see him." She says to him, "Regret." He says to her, "Girl, you tell him he's here. He'll finish the first. Girl, he must use violence with you. The important thing is that you go and take the girl to the side." And he goes to look at the phone. I can't find any messages from her, and on his phone he receives a second message written in it, "Don't talk much." I do. And see it. I'm feeling hasses. He comes on his last boat and comes back again to Layla and says to her, "Let me in." Pilot sees the messages. He says to him, "Are you sure that these messages are not fake?" He tells him that these messages I received on the Army network. It means it is impossible for anyone like that to know how to send it. He says to him, "Okay, we will go and land on Pakistan." He tells him, "As soon as we get off, they will fly on the plane. They ask us whatever they want. Send these names to ground security. Let them check all the names, and they will surely bring out the names of the terrorists who hijacked the plane, and they actually send them. The name is, and this condition go to calm." And he says to him, "Really? Sorry, there is terrorism on the plane." "Who exactly?" "We don't know, but we have confirmed that the plane is carrying terrorism." He says to him, "Okay, who is the secret officer?" "There." The officer tells him. Aaron says to him, "Aaron is my friend," and he takes his mind off this knock as he sees everything, his movements, which are not correct. He runs after the pigeons find him, even the magnet. Thus, son of the pyramid, the pumpkin, runs behind him. He tells him, "Who are you?" He tells him this is the question that you are going to answer. He goes down and fumbles, but Garm is close by and takes out the knife on him. He twists the other side and breaks. I saw the buzzer in my hand. He has someone who makes him a vibrator one night. What does she say to him? He tells her, "Don't be afraid, you're still here. I even found this magnet on him. They want to cut off the signal from the plane with it, and this is proof that the plane is hijacked." Now she tells him it's been hijacked. He tells her to calm down, girl. You're important to advise this corpse, so we know who else is he. On the plane, he goes outside. Tries to get over it and does not get over it. He takes out his phone and does not find any messages from his phone. He tells me, "Go to cabin 4, you will find a doctor there." Then she goes to get a doctor, and Khan's assistant tells him that Aaron, before he got off on this flight, was doing the impossible to get the Yoda team back, and he didn't know it, and that's what he did. I think he is the one who hijacked the plane to take his battery and extinguish his fire from what happened to him. The government says to him, "We don't want to make any suspicions about him. Let us see who the ministry is aware of. Who is the secret officer on the plane?" And in the plane, the doctor arrives, and one night she gives him this injection. "You will get the oxygen quickly. You go to get an oxygen can, but they do not catch him. He is praying to God that he will die. Yes? Man is afraid for them and tells them, "You killed him, dogs." He holds out the gun. He tells him, "We want to hide this body before it smells." Layla tells him, "We will put the body under his house and they will come out again." Above, Irem's brain will explode from thinking. At this time, the employee receives the response from the ministry and holds the answer from the ministry with his hand to Officer Com. He is shocked when he realizes that the secret officer on the plane is not him. Aaron calls the plane. Layla Aaron answers. He goes and takes the phone from her and says, "Who is with me?" He tells him, "I am Officer Com." He says to him, "Listen, Com, I am the officer." The driver on the plane tells him, "How come there's a second officer with you on the plane? I hope you give him the phone. Let him talk to me." He says to him, "Who is this officer?" He tells him that he is sitting in chair number 11. "For God's sake, you go to chair number 11 and find it empty. Anyone present?" She takes out her ticket and passport and learns that the secret officer on the plane is the one Aaron killed. She goes to the girl on the second phone and is afraid on the line with them. She says the officer betrayed Officer Amandib and the one Aaron killed. In the bathroom, Haran is shocked and goes to hold on to her, telling her, "That's it, girl, you're done. Listen, calm, this is a game played on us. I want you to stand with me so that we can understand this game of the Pyramid Boys." He says to him, "You mean your men? Don't be surprised. Oh, there is no one on the plane who is a suspect. You are the only one inside the plane without permission. Anyone who is more shocked will know that the game was played on him." Yes? Right, my friend, the officer. Khan calls the pilot and tells him, "Listen to me carefully. The plane you are on is hijacked. The closest place to you is in Pakistan. Get down on it and do not let any of the passengers feel that the plane is hijacked until the peace treaty is concluded between us and Pakistan." The one who hijacked the plane has an Indian soldier named Aaron, and Hope. Aaron cuts off the call line and says, "The plane returns to Delhi again. There is a big game being played, and the biggest mistake is that when we land on Pakistan, he goes out to the people outside and tells them all to go back to Laura. But one time, Leela pins him down and Hammond's uncle is lying on the ground. This time, the Indian Prime Minister arrives in Pakistan, and among the people who went with him is a master of it. This time, Aaron Handa is raising a weapon against him, and he says to him, "Oh, traitor." He says to him, "Who is a traitor? Oh, Bahane. We are in a big game being played on us." He says to him, that's it. I don't want to hear your voice." Aaron unties himself and turns to the other side and raises the weapon at Layla. He goes to the pilot. He says, "I told you to come back again. You didn't come back. Why do they say Pakistan agreed that we should go down to them? They say this is normal, but this is what we want. Hijackers of the plane, come back and protect me. I will break down the door and I fear for your health at this time." Officer Khan is working, and one time he hears the Pakistani media say something about him. An Indian pilot has been kidnapped and her fiancé is an Indian officer. The strange thing is that this happened on the day the peace treaty was concluded. I hope someone can explain to us what is happening from the government of India. Khan says how the news was heard in Pakistan. This is not one person who hijacked the plane. This is very strong bahana at the time. This is Aaron. He does not know how to worry about the pilot, so he goes out to the passengers outside to guide them. But one time the plane flops right and left. Aaron looks at the wing and the pilot comes out from inside. Aaron tells him what is happening. He tells him the plane is emptying the gasoline. He tells him, how did this happen? He approaches him, but terrorism is kidnapping. The plane crashes with a bullet, and my friend finishes it. Who is the terrorist that has been before our eyes since this whole morning? The co-pilot, the son of A, goes to Karan, holding a gun on him, and tells him, "You are a strong idiot. Come on, let me Call on your wisdom and tell them, secure the road, so that we will descend into Islam. His father tells him, do you remember my wisdom? They say that I am the one who hijacked the plane. They say that. Exactly. I chose you just like that. Randomly. I chose you specifically to make sure that you were the one who hijacked the plane. After what they did to you and destroyed your Yoda team, you are a strong idiot. Oh, I didn't think outside the box. How can I see you and send you messages when you don't see me at all? You are an strong. He gets angry. He goes to him, but he hits a hero on his other shoulder. Her mind is busy, and she flops with this bag in his arm. Haran attacks him by breaking his side, but the old man is not at all easy, and the plane flips with them right and left. Another time, it goes to the driver's cabin and tries to control it. Haran breaks this old son's bone, but he grabs the doctor and raises Haran's gun on him. He leaves it and shouts to the girls in the driver's cabin, telling them, I'm going to fix the problem in the plane. He goes downstairs and finds that the son of the pyramid killed the doctor. He shouts inside. He finds a quantity of magnets blocking oxygen from the plane's engines. He tells me that I found a solution to the problem. The most important thing is to try. You take off the plane and return to Delhi, but the old man also comes out on him with a weapon, and he approaches him, so he stays away. But the old man, the oxygen, is his assistant. He goes down and fools around with it. He says to him, oh honey, there is no oxygen. He says to him, pure, but there is electricity. He dries him with tuberculosis and turns away. It is intense, but Aaron turns over the dirt, brings it under him and finishes it. At this time, Priya goes to Khan and tells him that it is impossible for Aaron to do that. Certainly, he is not the one who hijacked the plane. He tells her that there's no one who knows how to do all this except Aaron, and Aaron, my friend, is trying to assemble any solution so that he can return again. Delhi tells me and Uncle Seglal that we must cut off the electricity so that we can control the plane again. And listen to what I'm going to say. We must do this quickly before we reach Islamabad. In order to solve this problem, we must untie this electrical cord, and if we untie the electrical cable, it will cause a fire in the place. Each one of you should hold a fire extinguisher and keep you ready. As soon as I remove this cable, it will be sprayed all the time on the electricity. It is understood that a second time, stay ready with us. She says to him, ready. Well, get ready, Layla, get ready. Uncle Hamada pulls the cable, and that's it. They took it out, but the daughter of the pyramid says to him, Syrian, Rawash. She takes the hot to the right and left. She answers it too. The ground is turning on her life, and she raises the weapon on her old uncle. Heh. Tells her what she sprayed from that fire extinguisher. Heh. Says to him, it's like lightning, and all the fire extinguishers here are full of sparks. He says to her, these extinguishers, you replaced the substance in them with sulfur, meaning they are now bombs. She tells him, bravo. You have to come up with reason. So, who has the fire extinguishers? He says to her, oh, you didn't hijack the plane because you want money. You want to blow it up in Islamabad. She tells him, in Pakistan, Islamabad, specifically in the mosque where the peace treaty will be concluded. He tells her, oh, that's all because of the peace treaty. She tells him, there is nothing between us and you, peace be upon us, until we liberate Kashmir Kabir. They come upstairs and she says, I hope everyone wears masks, and I don't want any dog among you to take a breath. Here. Fears for the driver's cabin and tells another to call the ground defense. She calls them. Hebir answers them and says, who is with me? He says to her, Aaron. She tells him, Aaron, why did you do all that? This, my love, stop what you are doing right now. One night, the harem girl gives him this paper and tells him to say, whoever is reading it tells her, I will not be able to stop unless you get my colleagues out of prison and they escape out of the country. Do it, period. Do it. The danger is around us from every direction. The line is hanging up. Apriya will be there. Extremely shocking, because this is the same sentence he said in the plane before. She says to the commander, the issue is bigger than the kidnapping of ours, and it is not Aaron who hijacked the plane in the first place. The issue is much bigger than a kidnapping. The strong man on the device tells him, regret, the plane will land on the mosque in which his father converted to Islam, and this is the place where when the peace treaty will be concluded, everyone will be in utmost shock, and Karan tells me, Layla, that you are the one who killed the security officer, Deep. Oh, when he started to doubt you and understand all your movements, you let me hit him, and I changed the injection to the doctor and finished with him. She tells him exactly, and he gets off the plane and gets on it, banging on it with one arm. Because the clutch is not empty, my friend, you try to get rid of him with a knife, but he breaks it in this item, which is 1 and 2. He brings it with the same knife and finishes it. Haran tells the second person that the plane will land on the mosque in Islam. Abad tells him that this mosque will have a lot of Pakistan. The Pakistani Prime Minister tells him that there will be a lot of money here, even though this Indian plane landed and exploded. She tells him that this means a war of massacre, and there is no first person to tell her exactly, and the terrorists killed the guards that guarded the Indian Prime Minister and took control of the entire place. Karm speaks to the defense and tells them to be careful. We will go to the mosque where the peace treaty will be concluded. Ibn al-Harma, the terrorist who is in control of the place, responds to him and tells him, we are not targeting the Indian Prime Minister, we are targeting the Pakistani Prime Minister. And now, my dear heart, your wife and your Prime Minister are all under my hands. You have a solution of both in your hands. Either you save the strong man riding with you, and you do not save your wife and honor. Your country's Prime Minister is locked down for a second. She says to him, what will you do with these sulfur tubes? If we get down on the plane, it will explode in the mosque. There will be a war that has no first to last. She will leave, and we will not save the passengers. He tells her, we will save the passengers, and it is the honor of my country. She tells him, oh. He tells her, with my water tanks, I will open the water tanks, the extinguishers that are there. It contains sulfur, and you control the plane before it descends on the mosque. You say to it, okay, indeed, my friend is making a mess in the water tank underneath, spoiling the sulfur that comes out of the extinguisher. Then, my friend, this looks like sulfur. We have sulfur that we used to use in the stove. The important thing is that it turns off the sulfur, and that's it. Any explosion will happen. The second time a plane's wheel will come out, and they will be down and out of the way, but the door will come to you from where you underestimate the wheel. It will be jammed. Not satisfied, it will come out of the inside, and they will be finished landing on the ground. I mean, there will also be an explosion. My friend Aaron keeps silent. No, by God, he will tear at it on the grounds that he will be able to. I mean, the plane will be there. Gullis goes down on her face, but Aaron is talking to the director on the phone, and the calf comes down to the ground for him. Also, the plane descends quickly, and Gullis is afraid in the mosque, but again, she stops it at the last moments. Everyone is extremely happy. And Aaron, as soon as he opens the plane door, finds himself being hit by fire. Something on his mind is on his mind. He goes out with it. Pakistani army is one hand against terrorism. Fears with its heart or with it. Come back, you liar. The fight is not with us. Oh, it fears for them. He has a gun. He is a liar. I'm gone. Of the people holding all of these machine guns are able to hit him, even accidentally shot him. He fears inside, and as they can see all his movements, the monster reaches out to his wife and his prime minister, his country, but there is terrorism around them in the community. My friend thinks that this will make a difference with Aaron Abu, a lion and a phone. No, by God, he fears for them, he knocks down them, and it seems that he will be done with them. But Jalal tells him, give yourself up. Ron, and the one who will finish with all those with me. Remember me is about to come, 1 or 2, and he says, it's over, I'll go to sleep. In front of the madam, he says to him, do you remember me, my dear? He focuses on his appearance. He thinks that this is the son of the pyramid who is the hijacker of the plane on which the world is on. Anuj is the one who threw them from the plane, my friend. He says to him, brother, I broke your bone in the first place, but I threw you from the last plane. In order to complete my bitter mission, I will finish with you, your family, and your prime minister, and after I finish with you, believe me, I wish you were alive so that you would know what I will do in your country. The place is filled with bombs, and Quam says to bear my device, because there is no time for us. The son of the pyramid turns to the other side and brings it to the ground with the remains of the bombs in his hand. He starts to feel happy about this old son, but he is so hard on him that he flips on the table, breaking his spine. He takes out the bomb remote, but Piria removes the battery from the main device. The remote that he has is disconnected. He tries to blow up a lot of the place, but nothing happens. He looks for the main remote and finds that it has disappeared from his pocket. He says he also has a thief who tells him, I am more deprived of you. He overpowers him, and the superiority becomes a burden on him. The boy has his love for him and makes him forget any books and dialogues. Seriously, my friend has strong and heavy hands, and they are one. He rests on the side like a decorative lantern. He takes out a knife on him and takes it from him, and in my hand he has one on the fly and brings it down. He picks up the Petra and twists the pipe. He is able to get rid of him, but he leaves him and walks away, telling him that if you intend to do something, then I can do it in prison. Then he leaves him and walks away, telling him that it will be the best period of my life. I will go to work inside the teak, and as long as I live, there will be no peace treaty between Pakistan and the Han. He gets angry and throws at him. This bomb hits and explodes the entire place. Priya is shocked, and his men are shocked, and no one can believe that the monster who oppressed him is finished, and with their words they wounded him, and with the act of worry they tortured him. He is dead. He is dead. The one who was safe is dead, and tenderness is gone. You think that this happened, my friend? No, 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 and God is leaving the Indian world in his hands, and everyone. He will be extremely astonished at the funeral. His passport will be overturned, and his wife will go to meet him. He will say to her, why didn't you go ahead with the divorce certificate? She will say, I was joking with you. Oh, and this is all love for you, my life. All the judgments on him will come down, and Yoda's team will return again to the army, and here the lying will end. I hope my friend is enough, and I die. You must also stop and die and give me a like with these countries. It is not enough, and subscribe to the channel, because whoever has a roasted pigeon, press the bell button so that you can take your place, my friend, and take a turn in the channel. Believe me, you will find many videos that you will like. I will see you in next video.